Hey, this is Mike with M&M Video. How are y'all today? So what I'm going to be doing today is loading my 2019 Road Glide into my Fusion toy hauler. The first thing I'm going to do here, because the back of this sight, although it looks pretty level, is a little off level. So the first thing we're going to do is change the angle of the camper so that the ramp is not quite as steep. Here's the wheel chock I use. It's a max wheel. I don't actually have it bolted in. All I really use it for is to hold the bike up while I am securing my straps. Some people like to bolt them down. I'm not worried about that. I know how to tie it in real well so that it won't move once it's going. So here in a second we're going to lower the ramp, close up the patio here, and we'll ride it right on in. And there we go. We are inside. It's firmly locked in the wheel chock, and the wheel chock's holding. I'm gonna still put down my kickstand, just because if by chance the bike were to move, I would still have a 50-50 chance of it landing on the kickstand. In fact, it's got a little bit of lean to that side anyway, so we're good to go there. Okay, my first tie down spot, I'm going to run up in here. Being careful to stay off my chrome, and we're going to run it down, one on each side, and that's going to take some tension on the suspension and keep it from bouncing around. Also keep it from moving aft, left and right. As you can see, we're sitting pretty much straight up and down. The tail end is cocked a little bit. That'll just make it easier for me to take in and out, but not enough to make a difference in how it rides. You know, as a rigger, we always say that two straps should always hold the load. So I have a 900-pound bike. I have 4 straps whose minimum braking strength is, or working limit is 570 pounds apiece. So that's 2 straps are holding it. That's 1,040. But see, we're not what we're doing is we're holding it. We're not actually lifting it with it. So we're good. Our braking strength's around a little over 1,000 pounds. So I'd have to put more than 1,000 pounds of pull on these straps, or on any one strap, to actually break the strap. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, give me a second to reset this. Okay, that's the first strap on. I haven't put any real tension on it yet. As you can see, I come down to the floor, and instead of putting my hook, because there's no clip on the hook to keep it from coming out of the floor, I use a second strap, and I cinch it in there tight. That way there's no chance of the hook jumping out of my tie down spot. Okay, now I've got it 4-pointed, and what you see here is in behind the ratchet strap I've put 2 half hitches. I'm a rigger by trade, and I trust no nylon. I always double it up behind there just in case that ratchet starts to fail for some reason. Those 2 half hitches will start to grab, and then if you're checking it whenever you make other stops, you'll know. So okay, we're back. Got the camera mounted there. What I'm going to do now is ensure that the bike doesn't move. See, the bike's not going anywhere. Forward, back, left, right. She's strapped down nice and tight. So now we're going to be safe to travel. Again, the straps hold it upright. So you never have quite that full load, but you always want to have good quality heavy duty straps. Anywhere that they might go around something sharp, you want to make sure that there is some sort of chafing gear that won't slice. Rubber hose is a good chafing gear. Rags are not. Now if you're going around chrome, a rag is fine because normally you have rounded edges there, so all you're doing is protecting the chrome. You never want to try to go around anything painted, because even if you, with your softest of rags, if you go around something painted, by the time you put that much torque into it and you ride a few hundred or a few thousand miles with it strapped in that way, even those microfiber and sheepskin and all those types of cloths can eventually start to rub and leave swirl marks in your paint and wear your paint down. So you don't want to ever tie down to anything with paint if you can avoid it. Now, an exception to that rule, of course, being the frame of the bike. The coating on the frame of the bike is pretty stout. You know, it holds up to rocks and everything else. So you're not going to hurt that. But I still recommend putting some sort of soft cloth in between your strap and the frame. And of course, something between any chrome and the frame. Make sure what you're going to is a solid part of the bike. It's not just bolted on. So you want frame is what you really want. Anywhere where you can go around the frame. You don't want to go to bolted on attachment points. You don't know what the braking strength of the bolts that are holding them on is. So if you got into a sharp curve or had to do some serious maneuvering because somebody was stupid, and those bolts, you know, may only have a few 100-pound braking strength, and you lay into a curve, you put 1,000 pounds of push on that, and you don't want that. So yeah, I know, and I said that, you know, my working strength on my straps was 500 and something, but see, it's never on, whether you go left or right or front or back, it's never on just one strap. It's always on at least 2. So I'm well over 1,000 pounds. So also something I like to do other than just leaving the kickstand down is I leave it in gear. That helps the back tire from rolling. It's a lot harder to slide the back tire than it is to roll. Now also, if you have a newer Harley and you have the security system on it, one of the things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to shut this security system off before you start moving, because it can activate the system, and it can drain your battery by the time you get to where you're going. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn the the switch to the ignition on before the security light goes out. You're going to turn it back to off, and then you're going to hit both your left and right turn signal at the same time, and you should get a blink of your lights. And then up here on the dash, you'll get a transport mode on. And I saw all the lights flash, so we're good to go. And what that does is it doesn't disable your system, But what it does is disables the motion sensor, because we know, you know, the bike's going to be hauled. But if somebody went to steal your bike from here without the fob to restart it, they're not going to be able to do it. So, and especially if you're hauling your bike on an open trailer or somewhere you can't lock it up, make sure not to store your fob on your bike. Make sure all your bins are closed and latched, everything loose is off the bike, and we're ready to go. This has been Mike with M&N Adventures. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.